I like to call Florian a toolbox because the core of this deck is actually surprisingly small. That's what she said. This gives us insane flexibility in how we want to build around the shell. So for this deck tech, I'm going to use the data we have on the performing list so far and try to create the best Florian list possible. I'm Tog and welcome to We Make Best. At the time of release, there are currently two de facto best builds of Florian, as seen from tournament results. The mid-range style, which has been performing throughout countless Western tournaments, and the OTK style that has been taking over the Japanese fab scene by storm. To break these styles down, both of these styles are trying to decompose as fast as possible, but how they're abusing the hero ability is different. For the mid-range style, it's trying to, what I like to call, trade up in cards with their opponent. An example of this is the 1 card 5 off of a blue, thanks to Grass plus Reaping Blade. This, for example, will trade with 2 cards from your opponent in the late game. So if your opponent gives you 2 cards to defend your 1 card, this gives you enough space to be able to keep your 2 card hands on the next turn, which are often 2 card 9s, 10s, and even 2 card 11s, thanks to cards like Swarming, Arcane Seeds, Felling, Plow Under, Malefic, whatever, you name it. And this process just continues to repeat until you're legit throwing 4 card hands at your opponent and they're just stuck defending until they eventually die. But now the problems with this version comes when your opponent can either match or ignore your endgame value. Decks like Leviah and KO can actually go blow for blow in the endgame thanks to their massive numbers as well, and decks like Nu and Azalea can either just try to fatigue you or force dominate through to play around that value endgame. And so I bring this up because it's actually super crazy because the OTK version wants to farm those exact heroes that want to verse the mid-range version. I'm not even sure if there's ever been a deck that counters the counter to itself. So to explain, the OTK version instead abuses your hero ability by stacking up a critical mass of rune chants to unload on your opponent, pause, in one single unstoppable attack. But Florian actually stacks up its rune chants really fast and in a really funny way. So on top of the regular incans, germinates, and arcane seeds turns, you're also using Channel Tree plus Scepter of Pain to turn your blues into 1 card deal 4 arcane and make 5 rune chants, along with Thistlebloom plus any life gain for an easy 2 card 9 between life and rune chants as well. So while you're playing a nice little defensive game stalling out your opponent, you just abuse these really small and efficient ways to create rune chants while your opponent's on the clock trying to kill you before you can unload on them. Now again, it's so funny because this version actually struggles against the aggressive decks that can kill you fast enough like Aurora, or decks that you need to keep pressure on their board state like Enigma and Prism, which mid-range actually has solid matchups into. So that's how I ended up with my list here. I simply took the most powerful things from both Yuki and Shoma's versions of Florian, did my best to put it all into one deck as efficiently as possible. This way I can cover all my quote-unquote counters to one version of the deck by simply playing the other one into them. So let's get into some live games to show how each version plays. And here we go. Got our first rated CC match in the Runaways Discord up against Azalea. So I like going first against Azalea. Don't give him the chance to have a full knock turn or like dominate arrow turn and just like drill shot you, take some block off of your equipment, most notably Barkskin. So yeah, I like to instead go first. And this is a matchup where we get to go set the switch. So been fishing for this one. But yeah, so in general, all of our equipment's super good. I am pretty greedy, well, I guess less greedy. I don't know if this is greedy or not. So I have Spellfray gloves instead of having the Blooded Oval because I do think I can cheese some Kanos with my equipment setup. But yeah, I'm definitely going to miss the Blooded Oval. This is the specific matchup that you'd want it for. This and maybe Leviah, but yeah, everything else looks pretty good. You could run Summer's Fall to bottom your own thingamajiggies, what are they called? But I'm not gonna. So you can bottom like inertias and such, and then that way, if they do the whatever the arrow is called, not the arrow, the buff, where you can't use D-Reacts and give you an inertia, sometimes you get D-React stuck in Arsenal, and you can still do like a Summer's Fall bottom that thing. So looking at this hand though, it's not bad. We're going to be able to gain one off of this. just thinking if I want to keep the CNC or not. And I think I do, because we are against Azalea at the end of the day. And in the early game, you are going to be, do both, you are going to be swinging until you decompose. As soon as you decompose, then you're going to be swinging a lot less, but still swinging nonetheless. A lot less, but nonetheless, XD. So this is coming in. It's just kind of suspicious. It could be a rain raises, but it's not the biggest loss if it is. I do think I just like putting all of these in front, as many earth cards as we can. Actually, we could keep the summers and just go block, block, and then get our first decompose off. We will lose our CNC though, so yeah, probably not worth. We'll just go like this. I like arsenaling the Thistle Bloom, just waiting until you draw any form of life gain. But with that said, I think I'm just going to either Scepter or CNC him. I think I'm going to CNC them, like punish them for their relatively weak play there. And yeah, I just don't really want this in Arsenal, especially if I am able to keep a D-react at the end of one of my turns later on. I just want to put that straight into my Arsenal. And yeah, if we're gonna force them into blocking, we're gonna get a lot of tempo, a lot of space, be able to set up our graveyard even more, maybe even look for a Felling or a Plow, and just like continue this trend. So yeah, the more blocks, the better. Oh, interesting. Must have no buff hand or something. Just a frailty hand. So we get a little bit punished here with the frailty, but I mean, I'll just put the CNC back. So it's a drill shot. This can go here. We can do this with decompose. So I guess I'll discard the oath and then go block, block. Now I'll discard the sigil and then swing back with the CNC. So yeah, we'll go like that. So discard the sigil. Even though this is a pretty good sigil matchup, but yeah, we get our first decompose here, which is nice. Do this, say yes, please. They're going to get a ponder, so they're going to have an arsenal after this. We get 2 earth cards, and then this dread that we just discarded. Then we have 2 earth cards in our discard right now with an action, so it's about to be 2 actions as well. So yeah, do this though. Throw this at their face. So they did discard a rain raises that turn. No, they played it. And blocked with this, and they had a knock. So yeah, our CNC last turn definitely disrupted them quite a bit there. And then this is one of the big plays that we're looking for. Earth blue, or like earth card to pitch to Scepter at least. And then, yeah, a channel. So we're going to be able to do the thing. No, we're not. They just knocked in a Render Ledger. So thinking on this, I'm thinking of blocking with the tree is the most efficient thing, but we're not going to be able to play tree and Scepter, right? This is an action. Yeah, it's an action. So I'm probably going to just block with fruits, and then Summer's Fall, the Blood Rot, Arsenal, the tree. That way we'll be able to decompose 3 earth, which is what you want to do for your decomposers. You want to do 1 with 2 earth cards, and then 3 earth cards, 3 earth cards to be the most efficient. Some matchups where you just go 2 and 2 because just turning these on to begin with is most important. But yeah, I think we just do this. It's going to suck a little bit, but it's actually not the end of the world. At least we still have a decent play, can progress our game plan a little bit of decomposing. And it works out pretty nice, and we also gain 2 life technically, so just a little bit of trade life. The big factor there was they didn't have an arsenal, so super happy to see that they were not arsenaling a card there. But now we're just going to be waiting. So there's a bunch of auras. Do I want to block with them? So again, they don't have an arsenal. If I could get a lot of Barkskin block here. So this Barkskin could block for 5 right now if I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So it's just a clean block, isn't it? But I'd actually rather get this Plow under into my graveyard. Let's say thinking... Well, I guess Well Grounded is the second. And I don't have the third currently. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it stops the Seek, and it stops the Blood Rot. If I just give everything plus Grasp and force them to have another one, because yeah, I don't really want to lose this tree. Do I care about the tree? Do I? Also, the Spark Skin value is just like, it's haunting me right now. But we could probably find a better angle. We'll say, sorry, we're gonna have to do some mathematicians here. Because we could also just use the well-grounded now. But I do like saving that for Dominate. So 2... we'll go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tricky. Guess I'm just going to give everything. If I take 11, I'm down to 24. Lose my tree. Yeah, let's just force them to have it again. Sucks a little bit to have to give armor and like kind of just give them another 4-card hand. But yeah, we'll just force them to have it again. This is a good hand, so we're going to be able to decompose with the Felling. Felling's like the best one to turn on your decompose with because it's also going to create space and then hopefully be able to resolve this channel afterwards. So as long as they don't have inertia, we'll be good. So this one is actually, okay, so we don't get double. So if they have rain, how bad is it? It's not that bad. So I think I'll just go like this. If I go like this, I've still got well grounded. I'll have 1, 2, 3 earth cards in my bin. This will block 7 because of the bark skin, and if they have the rain razors, I can well grounded it, and I'm happy to trade that, like trade an arsenal, bunch of tempo, and just go like that. So not bad. And then we will Felling, and this is gonna make us a lot of space. So they've torn through a lot of our equipment block, but we are online with 36 life and we have a tree ready to go, and we're gonna have a lot of tempo here, and yeah, we're just straight up winning. So very happy here. Try to keep these 2 cards to do the tree, start doing this. You guys will see the power of tree plus scepter, holy crap. Just 2 turns of this, and it's like 18 damage. So let's see if they can deal 36 in 2 turns. Oh, as I say that. Okay. Well, that's pretty close to it. Frailty, Ponder. Yep. Don't think we're doing much else. We're going to be taking 15. 15 down to 21. We're going to have 3 life here though, so it should be fine. But yeah, and now we can just start putting them on the clock. So 4 arcane on hit, we get to make a 5, like that much damage in rune chance +1 because of Florian effect. So essentially our blues become 1-card 9s. If we're able to keep the channel any extra turn after that, even better. Sweet, so we get a little bit of tempo while making 3 rune chance and dealing 2. And then, yep, just going to try and keep the Germinate. Usually you want to look for like a red or, not yellow, so you're looking for a red earth card so you can underpitch to the Scepter to keep it an extra turn, which is always worth. But yeah, we didn't find that, which is fine, but we did find a Rune Blood. We've also got a Warmongers. Probably try to Arsenal the Warmongers. I really want to get this channel value while we can. So Rune Blood, Germinate to the Scepter, and then Arsenal the Warmongers, so I'll block 3 and gain 3. This is probably a time to use equipment if I need to then, because I'm going to be set up very well. There's a good chance that they have a Codex with the way that they played this turn. Oh, it's Dominate though, so I can't stop the thingy, so... Because yeah, they can bounce it, and then... Am I going to get a better chance to face Purg anyway? Because if they bounce it with a Rain Razors, I'm not even that sad. Because I'm thinking of just giving this and this. But the thing is, I could just give Bark Skin, which will be 3, 6... I guess nothing else, right? think I'm fine with this. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? This bounces back, or it doesn't. This is always going here. So this can happen, 4 damage, 17, bounce, or snaps, bounce, pitch the death dealer, load it again, swing for 4, or maybe 7, and so we're on 17, then we go to 10 at the end. Then on the second one, I'm popping these anyway. So yeah, I think I'm convinced to do this. If they have the codex, it's fine, because they'll codex back a drill shot, but I can just keep this anyway. So yeah, let's do it like this. Looks a bit weird, but I think the alternative isn't that great. So I'll do it like that. Nice. So we just shut that down. No snaps from them, understandably. But yeah, our turn's very, very good. So we're going to do this and this and this. I show them the sigil, but I shouldn't. And then Arsenal that. So we have 6. They took the 4. No, they gave us guard as well. So we got tempo as well. Beautiful. But we've got a Warmongers for whenever we want it. This is going to start ticking as well. Blood rot for us. Thank you very much. Not really. So we can block 3, 4. This will all trigger. I'm probably going to go Malefic into this then. Yep. Makes sense to me. And try to keep the counter on our bark skin. Again, they can Rain Razor if they want, but don't really care. Decompose, yes please. Bang. Make sure you always get the non-action earth cards out first, as they are not always an option to take out. But yep, so this happens. Now we go Malefic. We're up to 8. And I'll just Warmongers say War, because I'm going to have a plow. This is just going to buy us another turn for our Rune Bloods. Just start ticking up. We'll say no. And they chose War as well, so they didn't have the gloves. Oh, we caught him. Bad Warmongers, honestly. So swing with this. We'll make 2 in the back. It's going to bottom their Arsenal, which is a buff, which is a bunch of tempo. Yeah, sounds good to me. Bang, bang. We're just going to start putting the hurts on them. Okay, I'm going to need to do this. I'm probably going to discard the Thistle Bloom just to gain 1. After they decide their blocks. Oh, wait. I have to do this now. Interesting. And that's actually the correct way to do it. You make them take all the rune chants, then you discard the Thistle Bloom because they think they're not going to get decomposed? Oh my lord. What a crazy little min-max there. But yeah, that's happening. We still have a bark skin block and plenty of non-attacks to go with that bark skin right now. Yep, the deal is fine. Seek and destroy. And then this is for 7, so potentially a codex. They didn't want to block anything. Snaps codex, because they've already loaded. They could also bullseye, I guess. So I don't think there's many better times to use this if they're going to double arrow us. Could also just say no blocks and then germinate on our turn for 1 billion, because this is going to go to 4. This is 3. So if I say no blocks, they snaps. Bounce, buff, or like load it in again, buff at worst. So it's 17. Yeah, it might be a who cares angle. So this is 4, 5. And then just block this in front. I don't have that other earth card actually, so it's fine to do this. This makes sense in my brain. I don't know if it's actually good though. We get to stop this on hit, but yeah, I don't know if it actually matters. So there's a rain, that's fine. Oh, double rain, okay. Snaps, yep. So we'll put this here. So now I will block with these as well, just get the value on that next turn. If they play Codex, I'll discard the fruits. So it should be fine. Just nullify that big turn here. Yep. So how big's this? For 9. I could just take 9, like he's already got an arsenal anyway. We go to 10, then we play this for x equals 3, so we'll gain 4 up to 14. And then make a bunch of Roonies. Alternatively, could block this out and then just Scepter, but he'll still have 5-card hand anyway. We'll stay on 19. But yeah, they have 5-card hand. We're not really progressing our board state, so we can sack 5 life for a bunch of rune chants and an embodiment. Yeah, let's just do that. I think that's better. I think we're pretty safe on 19, or on 14, sorry, after we gain the life, even without equipment. Because, yeah, we'll use the Germinate to at least make us one thingy-majingy embodiment of Earth. And so that means we get 2. And then tick those up, and then have a go. And so usually at this point, we're just looking for 0-cost attacks to throw at them to cash in our rune chants. Like Swarm is a good one. Amplify the Arknights are also another good one. I guess Plow Under's a good one, but this is gonna load. I guess he just Death Deal is either way. And they Azalea'd into the thingy. So yeah, I think I just say this is fine. Force them to take our whole hand. Because they're always going to be able to get a second arrow into their arsenal no matter what. So just going to have to take the 7. All good. Unlucky we didn't draw a non-attack to go with our embodiments here. Always a little bit RNG like that. I think I am on a 20-25 split with this current board. 25-30. No, it'll be 24 and 30 because I have 6 D-Reacts. No, there's also sigils. Maybe it's 21. Yeah, that doesn't sound that great, does it? Oh man. I'm not going to be able to plow under anything. Sure, I'll just completely block this out and then send the damage at him. No need to overthink it too much. Am I lagging? So we'll just block 8 with the 2 D-Reacts, right? Or even if it's not 8. It will be 8 though. Barkskin is an Earth card. Lag check. Hello. Say yes. Might as well preserve the life while we can. Do the non-action Earth cards first. It's just a good habit. Bang. Bang, 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 bang. And then Malefic's going to make us a bunch in the back again. And yeah, we don't need to decompose this one, but yeah, that's going to start taking a bunch of cards from them. It's the curse. It's the OTK curse. They'll always draw their blues no matter what deck it is when you go for your combo, when you go for your big hit. Always draws. Spy sniping. Is that them and Knock? Have we seen any other blues from them? I don't think so. Yep. And then guessing they're going to block 6 on the actual thing. Saying no to this. Blocks equipment. Dead. So they could have survived. Maybe just did the math a little bit wrong, but that's probably like going to be game after that anyway. They just have to pass tempo, and then yeah, we get to start drawing into our gas. Oh, I could do like Arcane Seeds and the Dread Triptych, present 2 breakpoints. They've got no equipment if they wanted to live. They're just like full block out again. I have this in Arsenal, and then yeah, just keep going. Like you just end up being Florian in late game. So yeah, that's a cool little display of the Scepter switch. It's just look, yeah, just the armor equipment is just like super stacked. I only did a tree for 2 turns, and like that's enough to OTK someone. Like at least do enough damage in the matchups that you're trying to bring it in. Most of these matchups aren't trying to block because yeah, if they start to block, they just give up too much space, and then they get they just drown in like the Florian endgame. But yeah, it's a good example. Alright, game number 2. So this will be a good display of the opposite switchboard. So we're not going to set the switch into Riptide because we will have inevitability into them with our weapon. So with Reaping Blade, you don't really want to bring in life gain just in case you start winning. And I think everything else is fine. You could consider bringing in the Summer's Falls, maybe to play around release detentions. Maybe you don't want too many of these and then bottoming in your own token, but don't think it matters too much. I think we can just run the standard. So yeah, this will be a good test to see how this goes. Rated CCQ over on the Runaways Discord, by the way. Got to put that out there. But yeah, so straight into it. They're on a Death Dealer New Horizons build. This is a Riptide main. This guy's been on Riptide for a while now, all through last meta. Continuing the trend through this meta, all on this CCQ. Yeah, New Horizons. So I could discard a card, but I think I'm happy just like throwing my hand at him. And just taking my rune chance. Yeah, like I could discard the seeds or the fruits, but I'm not going to gain life because of the Reaping Blade, and then I'm at risk that if they swing at me, I might get a little bit dodgy. So yeah, I think I'll just do this. Not going to gain life still, but I'm just going to make a bunch of thingies. I think I'll do this. It's a little bit of a waste, but I am going to just send the plow to fill my graveyard and also use the bramble. So coming in for 8, it's really important. Just like put the damage on them if you're going second. The worst thing you can do possibly if you're going second is to have an off turn on your first turn, because then you're letting them have access to the first big real turn of the game without any repercussions. Like usually the repercussions of going first is you can't swing into your opponent because they'll block out and then like get their things back. So when you go in second, make sure that you abuse the fact that you get to swing for real. And it's the first turn of doing so. No rush. I'm gonna sip on some water while they're thinking. But yeah, this is gonna be the second Earth card in the bin. So any Felines that we draw, Carapace, the Rootbound Carapace, all of these. Saying no blocks is pretty scary, but that is fine by me. So we'll see what they've got for us. You can probably suspect something big like a thingy-mabobby. What's it called? Rain Razors. Rain Razors, Codex. There's the Codex. So line up. What does this do? You may turn a face down arrow. If you do, put an aim counter on it. And then also +3, so it's going to have go again. Even if we block out this on hit, they can always activate Death Dealer anyway. So I'm not too sure how important it is to block this out completely. Maybe it's better to block out the next thing, but honestly, I think my hand's in a spot that I can just block my whole hand, worst case. So I'll do this. If they have rain, load something in, and like Death Dealer, I'm not too mad. Like I still have outs. I can just like keep a 1-card hand for them. Can even just like block with this Flourish later. And maybe that on hit did matter. So yeah, they're gonna load in their next thing. They draw another card. And then play a Lace. And then swing in. Well, that's a little bit awkward. This one I'd actually much rather actually blocking out, but I guess it's fine. Let's just take 6 and see if they have the follow-up. Or like a follow-up. Maybe they have a Codex to finish it off. Heatseeker. Yeah, this one we will love to block that one out. So I was going to be happy with just going to my turn, maybe like swinging back with Reaping Blade for 4, like off the Flourish. But if we get to prevent them from having a 5-card hand next turn, I'm pretty happy. So we traded however much damage we dealt last turn. 8 damage. So 8 damage for 8 damage. Not too mad. And then we kind of reset the game. Put it back to 4-card hand versus 4-card hand, which Florian just always has the advantage in. Just because of like the brokenness behind Grasp Reaping Blade. And then we're not even online either, so We've got the first decompose here though, so just checking the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not an earth card. So we've got 4, this will be 5, this will be 6. So we're pretty much already at the stage of having enough earth cards, just need to draw into our decompose. Loading in intoxicating shot. Usually this is your last option for loading in. I guess this turns on the traps. This doesn't have a true on hit. I'm just going to block 3 with this. Keep our turn efficient. This card's really just a block 3 non-attack that, like with Earth, when you're on this board, which is like actually just good enough most of the time. So here, Courage and a Quicken. Yeah, I'll just block out with the Root Bound since the Seek and Destroy is going to not let us arsenal this anyway. Just save equipment for like much bigger turns. And we get our first decompose off. I'll do 3 to begin with. Just need to do 3, 2, 2. And also pretty important to get to the first 4 to turn on your bark skin and your well grounded. So just play a nice little value game here. We leak 2 damage last turn, and then we're going to swing back for 4. See how they want to deal with this. So they can give us a card and take 1, or they can just take 4, go to 26, and then 5 card hand us. But yeah, overall pretty happy with where we're at. Seeing them block is nice for us as well. They're not going to be able to set up a 6 card hand on a turn after. Prismatic Leyline for a Deadeye. Activating Death Dealer, loading in a Drill Shot. That is one you probably want to block because that Drill Shot effect can like negate your bark skin a bit. But I also want to swing this Plow under, so we have enough because we checked last time. So I don't hate just doing a face block here. If we face block, they Rain Raises. Then they're also going to put a counter on our bark skin. Not the end of the world. I think this is fine. And then I'll Plow under whatever their Arsenal card is going to be. Seems fine. Since we drew an extra card, do I care to Arsenal any of these? Maybe I just Arsenal the Summer's Fall. This is kind of a loose play. I don't actually know if it's good, but I'm going to Arsenal the Summer's Fall. So we can play around like an Inertia or Blood Rot on hit, and then it's also going to decompose us up to 8. So yeah, this is a very loose play. I don't know if it's kind of flippy on whether it's going to be good or not. It's going to be obviously good if I don't draw into like any decompose cards next turn, in the sense that I will still be able to turn online next turn no matter what, as long as I draw a blue, I guess. And like the hands are lines up and it's efficient enough. But if I do draw into a Felling, I'm going to be a little bit upset, but I guess I'll just rotate the Felling into Arsenal as I like play the Summer's Fall next turn. So don't skip. So we drew a Root Bound, so punished, unlucky. Could have just decomposed off this, but I guess this is a fine Arsenal, isn't it? So we have 1, 2, so we're going to have to pop the boots this turn if we want to decompose with the Summer's Fall. Alternatively, we could block with the Thistle Bloom, but I think keeping the Thistle Bloom's probably fine. So they took the 6 last turn. So they took the 6. Usually you can suspect that something is fishy, that they wouldn't take 6 just to send Heatseeker and IP3. So I'm suspecting a Snaps plus Rain Raises. This is an on-hit that I would like to cover, so let's do exactly that. Let's go 3, and then if it's Rain Raises, Barkskin block here isn't even that bad. Yeah, let's do this. And then this is going to turn us online. Or we can just completely trade. Very interesting, actually. So we can block 4 with this, 5, 6. This will go to 7, though. Would love to go to my turn and like play Seeds into Thistle, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let's just do it like this. We're going to get one embodiment. So let's not do it like that because that's inefficient. Let's block like this. This is going to put the Earth card there. Holy, I was not expecting a Rain Razor or Razor Reflex. Sure. So unfortunately, I guess I can keep my boots. I can still just decompose this right now. Oh, I can just not decompose it as well. Just say no. Cover the go again, cover the on hit. We get to save our bark skin, which is actually pretty good. And yeah, so those are the extra earth cards as well. So get to do this. This is going to decompose us, turn us on, pause. Arsenal this arcane seeds because next turn is going to be worth more than if we just play it right now. Say yes. This one, I like to try and get the non-action earth cards out ASAP. Just throw them out. Oh, that's not an earth card. They need to change that art on Bramble, I tell you. So say yes. That one, tree, and then we'll just do a plow. And then 4, so we're online. This arcane seed's going to be a bomb next turn. Yeah, it looks like they're all arrow hands, so you can kind of make the read on like what their hand's going to be, on how they block and such. So yeah, we're in a really good spot. I don't see how we can lose the game. We're on 30 and we've already decomposed. I say already, even though it's turn 6, which is kind of late to be honest, but yeah, I don't see myself blocking if that's how we blocked last turn. Probably no buff, probably no follow-up. Sure. I should have blocked with the root bound. Sorry. Because this Felling's going to take it out of my hand anyway. So I was going to try and move the root bound into Arsenal and just dump the rest of my hand on him. But yeah, that's not a legal play. 1, 2. So I have to say no, unfortunately, to be able to decompose the Felling. But whatever. Dun, dun. I wonder if that was even correct. Because I could just go swarming into the thingy. And then that's a 3 card. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 5. 13. 3 card 13. It's better than a Dread into 1 cost in Levia. 3 card 12, that's a 3 card 13, and we're not even gaining life, so it's normally a 3 card 14. And I do think it is the play, and just save the Felling for a bigger turn. Nah, I'm just going to throw the Felling. I think I'm kind of committed with how I block with that thingy anyway. Couple different ways I could have planned this turn cycle, actually. It's like, very interesting. That's why I like this deck. I should just banish that Bramble Spark while I'm here, eh? So I stop getting baited by it, but yeah, we're just going to take full tempo here, so. There's that trade up thing that I was talking about in the descriptions. This ended up being a what? 4 card? No. Yeah, 4 card 13 plus 8, 21. Plus they have the bottom of card, 24. That was a 4 card 24. Holy. So I could say Flourish. We still have Fellings left in the deck. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just do Easter Egg Go again. Could just do Easter eggs for the big number. For the big number. It's Grasp no matter what. It just depends if I care to play around. Nah, I don't really care, do I? Yeah, I'll just go bottom this, go again. I was thinking about playing around Collapsing Trap, but like, who the fuck cares if they make me discard my Flourish? Like, duh, who cares? Go ahead. In before. But yeah, Arsenal with Flourish, I am expecting some more Fellings and Plows. I think I've only seen 3 out of the 6. Yeah, 2 Plows, 1 Felling. And then, yeah, there's also E-Strikes that's good with, Bramble Sparks that's good with, Swarming as well. Since we're online, Grasp is going to be able to turn it on, pause. So yeah, we can just keep doing that. But yeah, you can see the power of this mid-range build as well. So bang, yep. 2 damage for you, and then we pass. Arsenal. There's a Bramble and a Plough, the cards that we were talking about. This will bloom to pay for this. I'll say no blocks because I can well grounded and root bound, but they're going to just death dealer anyway. Yep. Oh, I guess also the rain actually loads. So we'll do this. I'll say yes. So they don't have red in the ledger, so I think I could just well grounded. What's the on hit? I'm not covering any other on hits. Yeah, maybe it punishes them for not loading, even though they just go Tunic, Death Dealer, play whatever. But yeah, since there's no riddle, I'm pretty fine with just doing this. Yeah, because I'm not even going to bother blocking this, because I would have blocked 2, 4, and that was it. So I guess maybe I'm meant to keep my D-React and just play around the whole lot, but yeah, you don't need a block when you're winning. It's up to them to try and bring it back into them. Actually, that's just a bad sentence, by the way. Don't take that for law. Don't have to block when you're winning. Usually playing defensive when you're ahead is actually like the way that you can completely shut them out. So yeah. Plough under, sadly, only bottoms 1 card, I believe. If you do, each hero puts a card from their arsenal to the bottom of their deck. Yep. So won't take double. Oh no, my 2 card 9 isn't a 2 card 12. Fucking listen to me whinging about what. But yeah. So 12 coming in because there's 1 arcane from the Bramble, and they have to bottom a card. Another just super above rate turn. Like yeah, you can just see the power when this deck's online. Like all these cards, by the way, are like in my deck when I'm doing the set the plan anyway. Like there was 1 line that I've used Reaping Blade so far, so that's why like the Scepter Plan's a very good switchboard. Like decks that can't handle or like have no answer to the switchboard is just like so good. But yep, think no problem. So always, whenever your opponent is taking time to think, don't just sit their brain off and like doing nothing. Like at least just like look at the graveyards, your opponent's graveyard, your own graveyard. There's always something that you can be trying to figure out. Like use the lull state, I believe that's what they call it. Just to like anything, you know? So like you can just count how many Felines, how many power cards have you seen from your deck, how many power cards have they seen, like that, and that can just give you an edge on what you need to play around in future turns and such. But yep, so there's that, and then do these, because yeah, I've seen a lot, all my Swarmings, all my Ploughs, I've got 2 more Felines left in my deck, so plenty of damage on our end. So if that's the case, oh, 1 card block 11, this motherfucker needed to think. You trolling me, buddy? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, like what I was explaining with the lull state, what I'm trying to think of is like how much threat do I have left if I need it, if I'm at threat of being fatigued or whatever. Buff power, Razor Reflex. So I'm probably just going to try and play Felling. So they had a big crackback with that Buzzsaw, so like that brought them back into the game quite a bit, because 1 card 11, like, and then they're going to send what, Razor into something, Razor from hand to load something as well. Yeah, I'll do this block 7, and then if they do Razor or rain Razors as well, either Razor and then load and then swing, I'll probably get the 4 block out of this Flourish anyway. Or they do snaps, sure. Into Codex, into pre-med load. I love these lines from Riptide. Oh, I guess pre-med Codex. Good turn. But yeah, Codex means I get back a Felling, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'll discard this Felling. So pretty much just switch the Fellings. I guess that's also an important note, isn't it? Is keeping the Felling in for the Codexes. That's actually a good learning point. I didn't even think of that. So we can block this. This will make 2 more, so we can block it like that. Just cash in all our armor. And then this Felling's gonna like buy us back into the game. So our chess piece just blocked 2 and then 4 and then 3. So it just blocked 7. Yeah, that's better than a Carrion Husk because it's not even Blood Debt. It's also an Earth card, so we can decompose off of it. So yeah, and then swing this Felling. But yeah, you just see the raw numbers of this deck is like so nice. Oh, just feels so good. Pure value. Bang, bang. It's funny as coming from Kano into playing an actual real value deck instead of like Kano every game or every competitive season, whatever. I'm actually really enjoying it, playing the game, actually. But yeah, we'll see how they want to deal with this. Check how many Rain Razors. So we've only seen 1, so I've still got 2. There's potentially like, there's no way that you run 3 Razor Reflex, right? That's probably a card that you run like 1 of or 2 of, so we probably don't have to play around that too much. Boulder Trap, nice, we've already cashed in all our armor block. That's probably another thing that we need to think about. Buzzsaw Trap, Boulder Trap, cards to like what you should keep in your graveyard or like take out kind of thing. But yeah, so that was an exact example of what I was talking about, right? Trading up in cards. So we just used a 2-card hand and we time walked them. Like it took their whole hand. That's just like, it's just so good, no? Like I fucking love this deck. You just number them. Here, number check everyone. And then, so here, yeah, we got access to our full hand. That's why I like all these small cards like Malefic, Bramble Spark, extra blues because you just pump them into grass. Blues that do things if you don't want them into grass. So like fruits you can discard for 2. Flourish, you can just add it on top of these attacks when you get to this type of stage. And like, yeah, so you just want to be able to use all 4 cards. Like going too far on the defensive side can be a little bit of a liability at times. So yeah, just to explain all that, and then we'll just keep running them into the ground. All these cards just keep forcing them. We'll do those 2 in this one. Forcing them to like bottom cards, leak damage, and just like full time walk. So again, we just leaked a bunch of damage. He's just losing cards out of their deck. We have the win con that as soon as we draw into Germinate, I'm going to probably do that. But there's a Malefic here, so I'm going to go Arcane Seeds, make a bunch, play this, and I'm actually just going to swing the fruits. And another reason why I'm actually a big fan of fruits. Life gain to go with Thistle Bloom. It's an attack to trigger your Malefics. In the end game against some decks, like you get to the stage where you're swinging with your Autumn's Touches and your fruits, like, and your Dread Triptychs. So like pays to actually have attacks, especially if like you see your Malefics late and you're trying to trigger them. But yeah, so coming in for 4 and 5, make 4 in the back for next turn. Probably going to time walk them again with just random cards, by the way. These were just like random cards in the deck. None of the power cards. I guess I'm pitching to Germinate, but yeah, you know what I mean. So leaked a bunch of damage there. 3 damage. Time walking them. See what you want to do back. Rain Razor, sure. Tunic, Death Dealer. You got a good one? That is a good one. Good for what though? So probably just going to swing E-Strike. So I'm going to block 3 and then 3 with the Root Bound. And then just go E-Strike. Maybe I'll do draw, but we're probably at the stage where there's a lot of cards that I don't want to put into my arsenal that are still left in my deck. This is where like that lull state kind of thing comes up, isn't it? Where knowing exactly what threats are left in your deck is actually pretty important, but yeah, I'll just go buff then. Happy to just present awkward breakpoints, awkward like damage across split types of damage. I said that in the worst possible way, didn't I? But yeah, so coming in 4 Rune Chants, gonna make 4 in the back, and then 7. So yeah, that leaking more damage. It's just impossible to stop all the damage. Like you're just gonna leak or you're gonna get time walked, and then I'll do it again. So time walk, nice. Now we can go something like E-Strike, go again into Root Bound. We don't care about this, we just cash in our life here. Because I think we can go for the finish here, or at least like take all the equipment and then, yeah. and we just don't care about this on hit. Short, put the 4th counter on our grasp if you would like. Lag check. Yep, was lagging. It's fine. They get an Arsenal. GG's. They're calling it. But yeah, you can just see how dominant this deck is when you get to this stage. So we'll say bottom, go again. So 4, and then 5, and then 2, and then 8. By the way, I haven't like done the grasp reaping thing yet. Like, no grasp reaping, just like random malefics in the end game, just random attacks being thrown. Like, yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Yep, see how they want to block. Yep, this makes sense. Don't want to put the New Horizon there. Not just yet, but now 8 damage coming in. They've got 2 armor block and 1 card left. Should just be lethal. GG's. And yeah, so that is game number 2. Good display of the mid-range shell. Just like running this when you want to have the inevitability, or like when you know that this trading up tactic is going to work against certain heroes. I specifically, yeah, don't like going the other one against Riptide, because surprisingly, they can actually like dump a lot of arrows on you and like really pressure you. So into the hyper aggro decks, I like to play this type of style, and yeah, you see exactly why. But yeah.